Okay, I'll answer any questions that I can. It wasn't good enough today. Defensively, we had no answer. You can't give up that many yards rushing and not get to the quarterback and then lose the turnover margin and expect to win in this league. But I'll be happy to answer any questions that I can.
John, some of the defensive issues that you just mentioned have been pretty consistent this year. How frustrating is that? And, what's the level of confidence that you can get it squared away over these next 3 games?
Well, obviously, we only have a few days left. We're running out of time, running out of players. Farrell went down again today early. I don't want to make any excuses. Abram went down. Jeff Heath's not here. We miss Arnett. We miss a lot of players. But we got stuck on some blocks. We misfit some runs. And we paid for it big time. But we had no answer today. And we better find some answers. And as soon as I'm done here, we'll start searching.
Hey, John, you got Trent back today and Jacobs and Abram. What did you see from those 3 guys? And how healthy were they? Were they able to do what you thought they would do?
Yeah, I thought Trent was a difference maker. He played great. I thought the pocket was clean. I thought we did a good job moving the ball. I don't know how many times we punted. I know it got a little helter-skelter at the end. We turned the ball over and a couple red zone plays. They made a great play down there, number 23. I can't tell you how impressive that was. But it's good to have Trent back. Josh is a difference maker for us, running and receiving. And I think he's getting close to being the Jacobs that we all know. But Abram, he has some flashes. He also has some plays that he's got to clean up, obviously.
John, this is Hondo Carpenter. I know you wanted to reestablish the run. That didn't happen. Were you a little bit surprised at your inability to run the ball successfully?
It's a top 5 defense. I really like what we did offensively. I thought we moved the ball. I think the turnover in the first half, the kid made a great play. They're a good defense. You can ask DeForest Buckner and Autry and the guys, Leonard and players that they have. We had some good runs. We just couldn't stay with it. We were in a situation where we had to score a touchdown every time we had the ball, it seemed, and it's hard to establish a run in those circumstances.
Hey, John, obviously the playoff race is getting tight here with only 3 games left for you guys. What does your mentality need to be going into this final stretch?
We got a short week. We got to find some players that are healthy. We got to make some real improvements. And we got to get ready for the Chargers. We can't worry about the playoffs and who's winning and losing around the league. We got to take care of our business. I don't want to hear any more playoff questions. We got to take care of our business, try to find a way to win our 8th football game.
John, when the Colts are moving the way that they were moving, when you get down close and have to kick a field goal, when do you get to the point in a game where you think, all right, we can't kick field goals, we got to score touchdowns?
Oh, yeah, you get to the point where you second-guess everything you're doing offensively. Every time you punt, it's tough right now. But you have to stay confident that your players are going to put it together like they did in Kansas City. We struggled in the first half in Arrowhead. We found a way to make some plays in the second half. But when you can make it a one-possession game, you got to trust your defense. To be a championship team and a playoff team, you have to be a good football team in all 3 phases. And that's my answer to that question. I hope it solves your curiosity, Jerry.
Coach, I know you're not a social media guy, but Josh Jacobs posted before the game that he wasn't playing. I know it's caused a lot of controversy. Were you aware of that? Or
no, I don't have social media, so I don't really know what to say about that right now. I'll answer any questions about the game, not the internet.
Any more questions? We're good, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
All right, guys. Questions for Foster?
Hey, guys. Actually, before we ask any questions, I'd like to talk about My Cause, My Cleats, Steve Gleason and the No White Flags Initiative. Being from New Orleans, it's something that was really close to me, and I looked up to Steve Gleason for a long time. He was a hero coming back and blocking that punt against the Falcons. The team Gleason is is basically ALS fundraising and research to try to help the people who are affected by ALS and try to raise money to find a cure, bring advancements in technology to try to help these people out. And no white flags means a lot to me being from New Orleans. So I thank you for your time, and let's roll with some questions.
There you go. Go ahead, Vic.
Hey, Foster, take me through the touchdown play, and what happened, do you think, to the offense after that? The Cavs kind of didn't have as much success late in the game.
Touchdown play was just a seam route, kind of one-on-one. We looked first to Darren, and basically wherever the post safety went, Derek was going to throw it the other way. Found me with a great ball. We had great protection. I made a good catch, and from there I just made a move and finished into the end zone. After that, I feel like we kind of picked up the pace there. We got another touch. That corner made a hell of a grab on Darren's corner route. A great play, credit to him. But I felt like our offense was. I felt like we were moving the ball after the first drive.
Foster, I know it's probably hard to focus on it coming off the loss, but it's been a pretty trying year for you coming back from your injury last season. How would you describe the season for you and kind of just having that big play today?
This season's been great. To add to the leadership that I received last year with Frank Smith, Derek Carrier, and obviously with Darren. To add Jason Witten to that mix, he's really taught me how to be a professional and approach the game as such. I wouldn't take this year back for anything. Kind of a mantra that we preach is be where your feet are. And Witten loves to say, he said it 2 years ago when he retired from the Cowboys after 15 years. He said, the secret's in the dirt. And we kind of run with that, and he's taught us how to live our lives like that, especially in season. There's no one better.
Hey, Foster, this was a game obviously that had some playoff implications, and although nothing's decided yet, but Derek had said, and he said during the week, we're looking at this as single elimination. How do you guys kind of readjust your sights after this? After this has got to be a disappointment. You got a game on Thursday. Absolutely.
I mean, you said it best. This game's going to have a short shelf life for us. Everyone's going to watch the film. We're going to need to make corrections. But we don't have much time to harp on our mistakes because we got to play a good Chargers team on Thursday. And I don't know how they feel, but I'm sure they're not coming here to lose. So we got to get our wits about us and press on.
Foster, you guys talk about that leadership. There's 3 games left to play. Do you feel like the leadership is in that locker room to get this thing together and make another run over these last 3 games?
Absolutely. We got great veteran leadership on this team. We got great leadership from young guys as well. I mean, guys that are 23, 24, under 25 years old, can lead this football team. Namely, Johnathan Abrams is a great leader, great vocal leader on this team. And Josh Jacobs, he doesn't say too much, but when he does, it's very impactful. So leadership in the locker room is going to step up, and we're going to be right, and we're going to come Thursday ready to play.
Thanks, Foster.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Go ahead, Jesse.
Hey, John. Obviously, their run game was big for them today. What particularly was giving you guys trouble?
From the looks of it, obviously we didn't do a good job of being in our gaps, playing together as a unit, and obviously they took care and did what they needed to do to get the win. So we got to take pride in stopping the run and just move on to the next game.
Go ahead, Vinny. Go to the next one, Cam.
Johnathan, it's late in the season, and some of the same problems that we're talking about here today have been problems that have been occurring quite throughout the season. Is there any hope that you guys could get things squared away defensively over these last 3 games in order to make the playoff push?
For sure. We got 3 games left. We got a chance to, win all 3 and see what happens at the end. But, yeah, we can't just let, one game deter us from, not going out there to perform well. It's a new day tomorrow. We get ready to get better and get ready for the next game.
Yeah, John, I think even Derek during the week had talked about it being almost like a single elimination mindset. I'm sure there's a lot of guys that were thinking the same way, but you just kind of addressed it a second ago. But how do you readjust when you got a game Thursday?
Well, sure, it's the NFL. You got to get ready to go. We've been having Thursday night games for, a few years now. So we know it's coming up. We just got to get ready to get prepared as best we can and try to get a win and finish out the season strong.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Hank.
They should do interviews like this.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Hey, Derek, you talked about the single elimination mindset last week, and I know it didn't go the way you wanted it to go, but you got a game coming up Thursday. How do you readjust?
Yeah, it breaks your heart. You lose a game like that, it breaks your heart. When you need a win against a team you're battling with for a playoff spot and you don't get it, it really rips your heart out. So it is what it is. You can't get it back, but just like this game, typically, unless it's the last week of the season and that's it, you have to play another one. And in our case, we have another one on Thursday. And so I need to go. I need to get home and start preparing for that game. That's my job. It's what I have to do. And you have to get ready with a good, solid Charger team that took us down to the wire last time. We got to be ready to play. We got to be ready to bring it as they come to us.
Derek, how challenging is it sometimes offensively when, not that you have to play perfectly, but close to it, and then not kick field goals but touchdowns and be precise to kind of overcome some things that are going on defensively? How challenging is that?
My job is to take care of the football, and my job is to move the team down the field and score touchdowns, and I didn't do that good enough today. Yeah, it is what it is.
Derek, to sort of piggyback on that, John had said that you get to a point where you start second-guessing everything you're doing offensively every time you punt. Does that carry over from the coaching staff to you as a quarterback mid-game, where you start second-guessing yourself or the play calling or what's going on, and how hard is that to overcome mid-game?
I don't. I mean, I hear a coach, talking about things, but I don't second-guess anything. My job is to play quarterback. They call the plays, they do all that, and I just try my best to execute those plays for them. And I've heard his conversations and things like that. Whenever you're in some shootout type situations like we've been in this year, every possession matters. I can just say it that way. Every possession matters, and if you don't hit on all of them, it usually doesn't end well.
Derek, did you notice a little bit more movement within the pocket with Trent being back? Did you notice that you were able to have more time to kind of get the ball out and Josh be able to run a little bit more with the line being more up to full strength?
He's our starting, right tackle for a reason. He's a great player, and the guys that filled in for him did a great job. We've been able to do some amazing things offensively this year with all the moving pieces. It's been impressive. But anytime you get someone back, a starter, someone who I believe is the best in the world at what they do, it makes a difference. Levi, it does. And that's not a knock on anybody. It's just a compliment to Trent and how good he is. And, especially against that front, their front has been – you turn the tape on and every quarterback is getting meleeed every freaking time you watch, the clips, and you're like, all right, well, better get ready to go this week. Better bring it this time. And I thought they did a great job all game in pass protection. I don't know, maybe I got hit once, twice, but in the NFL against the top 5 defense, that's pretty impressive. So I would say he made a big difference.
I'm guessing, Derek, you're gonna take responsibility for those 2 interceptions, but one was a pretty incredible play, and the other one bounced off the hands of a receiver. When you walk away from a game and there's 2 picks, and those are the 2 picks, how do you judge it yourself?
Oh yeah, you know me, Jerry. So you're starting to answer my questions before I end your question, I don't want to say anything else except on that first pick that's one of the best defensive plays I've ever seen in person in my life. Especially, I'm not going to get into his rules on the coverage and these kind of things. I just want to tip my cap, 23. He knows how I feel about him. But that play he made was spectacular, to say the least, especially with the coverage they were playing, how he played it. Pretty spectacular. The second one, I got to throw it more accurately, put it in between his numbers so he doesn't have to turn and run with it. It sucks. I judge it based on decision-making and accuracy, like I do all things.
Derek, I know game flow kind of dictated some of it, but did you notice Indy do anything to kind of take you guys out of the run up front there?
Teams are trying to do that, make us throw it. That's what the Jets did. It's what some other teams have done early in the season. They try and do certain things like that, and they're good fronts. I mean, they've been doing it to a lot of people. But I felt like we still averaged almost 4 yards. I felt like, Josh, when he was in there, was running pretty well. There were some creases in there, and it was good. Good to see against a really good defensive front, especially against the run. But like I said before, I feel confident. If we have to throw it for 300 yards, or we got to run it for 200 yards. We can score and win with anybody, and we proved it today. We can move the ball and score against these guys, just like some of the best offenses that I've watched play against them. But it just wasn't enough, and it rips your heart out that the effort we put out today wasn't enough. That hurts.
Last one, Paul.
Hey, Derek, in a strange way, isn't it almost a good thing that you have a game coming up so quickly that you can put this in, get this bad taste out of your mouth and go forward with it, at least mentally, or is that kind of a Pollyanna way of looking at what happened today? No,
you're right. It's there's so much work to be done between now and kickoff that you won't even be able to. Even if we won this game by 100 points, there's not even time to think about it. My preparation starts literally tonight. As soon as I get out of here, and it won't stop until kickoff. And so we got a team with some all-pro players on their defense, some all-pro guys on their offense coming to town. They don't like us. We don't like them. It's a rivalry. It's the Chargers, and so it helps you get past things really quick. So I'm excited. Wish our fans could be here in the stadium with us for that one, but hopefully we'll take care of business while they watch.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Derek.
Thank you.
Who's okay?
Hey, Nick, some of the same issues that we've seen defensively over the course of the season kind of reared its ugly head today. 3 games left to play. What's the level of confidence that you guys can get it squared away in time to put together a 3-game run here?
Personally, confidence for our defense. It's there. We got to take what happened today. Take what happened, even last week, and correct those things and move on. We had set ourselves up as a team in a pretty good position. So we just have to finish strong. No matter what happens, just keep going.
Nick, what was your biggest issue defensively today?
It's hard to pinpoint something without watching the film. But the one thing that sticks out is stopping the run game. I don't know the exact yardage they ran for, but we have to stop it.
I guess my question is, it's 418 yards now rushing the last 2 weeks. How do you fix that problem? How do you guys fix that in 3 days?
Whatever the film says. You have to go back and look at that. It's hard to pinpoint something right after a game. But just as players, we have to be better. But take this game and learn from it and move on. On a short week, we got to do it fast.
Yeah, Nick, just in terms of, emotionally, Derek and a couple other guys have talked about this, the Colts game as being looking at it like a single elimination game. And now it's gone and you didn't get it. 3 more to go. How do you kind of readjust?
Things happen around the league, things that we can't control. So for us, we just have to control what we control, finish out strong, and let everything else kind of sort itself out.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Nick.
No problem.